Hey y'all, it's TxStampin Sharon. Welcome to my All About Metallics class. This is my September 2024 class that I like to do to give you ideas, inspire you, teach you a few things. And I have a PDF tutorial that I would love to send to you. You have two ways of getting it. One way you could receive it for free by placing an order on my Stampin Up website. You can find that link below, or I offer it in my tutorial store for purchase. So I'm going to be sharing, I think, like 4 different ways to use metallics in different ways. So I hope that you enjoy it. If you do, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. If you're not already a subscriber, ring that notification bell when after you subscribe. If you have any questions or anything, please leave me a comment and we will get those answers to you. So let's get started. As I mentioned, I absolutely love techniques. And if those of you who have been subscribers for a while, you know we did a technique series and I had over 100 techniques. I do have that playlist, like I mentioned, here on my channel. But I taught you something called, I think it was in video number 2, class number 2, the black ass technique. Okay, so let me just show you what that looked like. Okay, so you see it right there, all right? Easy, pretty much. I learned a twist to that. And so we're gonna do the black ass technique, but we're gonna emboss it. How fun is that? Okay, let's get started. I also did it in silver. Let me just show you that one. So it looks totally different. And I'm gonna show you a few things like what not to do kind of a thing. So there we go. All right, I am using a stamp set called Changing Leaves, and around we go. I wanted a birthday card, so I used Happy Birthday from that one. I also used the, I'm reading it in French. I was like, the what? The Timber 3D embossing folder. That was funny. I'm like, whoop, that stumped me. And then I also pulled out the exposed brick 3D embossing folder. Okay, so any embossing folder will work. I do recommend if you have your Stamparatus, that would be good to use, or if you have another positioning tool, because we're going to be stamping on foil. And when you stamp on foil, it could move, okay? It could be a little slippery. All right, let me get my paper. We're gonna protect our work surface here. So I'm gonna do the gold one first, and you're gonna need some StazOn. So StazOn is a permanent ink. It does stay on. That's why it's called StazOn. I love the smell of it. I think it smells like cherries. Yep. You want to make sure that you have inked it up. Like I re-inked mine before I got started. I just wanted to make sure I had a good juicy ink pad. And so what we're going to do is we're going to just start. You're going to start at the top and you're not going to stop. Okay. So we're going to start off the paper and keep going. Okay. We're going to do it again. And start off the paper, keep going. Oh, I stopped. Dadgummit. Do you see what happened? Okay. So if that happens to you, I'm going to show you, a little bit of a way to kind of fix it. So again, stop, don't stop. Okay, there we go. All right. I'm going to go ahead and grab my silver foil paper while I'm out, while I have this going. And we're going to do the same thing. Start off the paper, don't stop, don't stop. Start off the paper, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. I'm gonna turn this around. You can go back and do it heavier, which I think I will on the silver. Don't stop. There we go. I like that better. Can you tell the difference? A little bit darker than that, okay? There we go. And I'm gonna turn it. Nice. That one came out perfect, okay? That one I can work with. But let me show you if you, like I did some that was, I tried to make it work and I just wasn't happy. Do you see that? So do the best you can about not stopping. Perhaps you could change where the leaf is stamped and maybe put a greeting layer over that, okay? I think I had another one too. There we go. I got two. I think I stopped this way. So too much ink, couldn't fix that, okay? This one I can work with. All right, we're gonna get our stamp positioner out. By the way, that is pretty much dry. StazOn does dry quickly. I'm gonna get my Stamparatus out. And as you can see, this is stained. This is stained now forever. It's just the sacrifice we must make. So I want my, we're going to be doing this one landscape. Sorry, I'm trying to talk and think at the same time. So kind of move your paper where you want it. Let me grab. Yep, I think I want it about right there. I don't have to. Yep, I like that. Yeah, maybe a little bit more down. So just get it where you want it, line it up. And when I mentioned to you to have a well-inked StazOn tends to, I'm sorry, when you use the StazOn ink pad on a photopolymer stamp or even a red rubber stamp, it could do the same thing. If you don't have it juicy wet, it tends to stick to the paper more. Keep that in mind, okay? So when you're inking up your stamp, we just want to go all the way to the edge. This pad is almost a linen, so it kind of soaks in. Okay, just make sure it's good and juicy, which, like I said, I went ahead and re-inked it before we got started. All right, so now I'm just going to, and I like to do a little twist. I don't know, I feel like it really coats that stamp. And then I like to tap out that twisting, okay? Because that, it's slippery, all right? And then you really want to press down and, you know, give that a good press. Make sure that all of that ink transfers to the foil. A Stamparatus could allow you to re-ink it. But as you can see, mine kind of stuck to the paper. And that's what I was saying. The StazOn, for some reason, that ink tends to stick to your paper more. So just be careful, okay? You could try it with Memento, but if you do it with Memento, you're gonna need to probably emboss that because I don't think it'll dry. So there's that answer to that. I know y'all are asking that question. All right, let's get our gold one out and let's do that one while we have everything ready. Here we go. Now I said I was going to work with this, so let's just see what happens. I think what I'm going to do is that's where my greeting is going to go. I'm going to position this to where my greeting is going to go there. Yeah, I think I like that. Scoot it up just a little bit. Nope. Yep. So just kind of keep looking at it and see what you like. Nope. Oh, that won't work. Okay. Let's do this again. So again, the StazOn works, whoops. Well, I made a mess. The StazOn works on plastic, acetate, if you wanted to stamp on a window sheet, if you want to stamp on foils without embossing, it just works best. All right, and once again, giving it a good press. So I'm just going to be demonstrating the techniques on these cards. I'm not going to actually assemble the full card because I just want you to see how this works. It's just so pretty, so pretty. All right, let's get this out of the way. And we'll tidy that up later. Okay. Okay, put the top on. All right, so we have our 2 images. Now I mentioned the different embossing folders. So you just want to pick a folder, okay? It doesn't really matter, but it's just, it gives it a totally different look. And so when I learned this, I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. Where has this been all my life? I've only done black ice like this. So I am from Texas. If you're new watching my channel, you're gonna go, why does she talk that way? And that is still wet. Oh boy, hold on. Good. I am from Texas, and in the Dallas area, oh, I know what's wet. My leaf is wet. A little bit more to it. So we're gonna let that dry for just a second. I am from Texas. In the Dallas area, we have more ice than snow. And so it is, when the roads freeze, you can't see it. So it's called black ice. There we go. All right, I'm gonna hit this with my heat gun so that we can get this party started. Okay, that really did not take long at all, and we're good to go. All right, back to the embossing folders. So just gonna put this in here. Put this one in here. I think that this is a very masculine looking technique. We're always looking for ways to make those guy cards, aren't we? So I'll be right back. Okay, now for the big reveal. Look how pretty. Look how stunning. Add it to your card front, add the greeting, you are done. Pretty, easy, masculine. Love it. There we go. Okay, so all I did was emboss. I used the gold embossing powder. The Wow Gold Embossing Powder, and I just embossed on the black, then mounted it on black cardstock. I actually stamped the leaf inside just to tie it all together. So, but the technique is the black ice and then embossing. So fun. Okay, and as you can see, I can pop that layer right over that boo-boo. All right, there we go. All right, let me show you another one. So this one, it's just all about metallics. That's the name I called this class. I'm using the Sketch Butterflies dies. Okay, I'm gonna be using this right here. I'm also using adhesive sheets because adhering these is so much easier if you use that. And I need my, where's my gold? Here we go. Okay, let me show you the card. Look how stunning. Look how stunning. Okay, so I have a piece of gold foil that I'm going to be using to cut out my butterflies, all right? And I pulled off a piece of the adhesive sheets and I've cut it to size, okay? And I'm just gonna add this to the back of my foil. Oops, let's turn it over. So this is the sticky side. If you don't use adhesive sheets, or if you've never used them, I highly recommend them. They really do help with intricate detailed dies like this. Now, when possible, I like to leave a little bit of a gap if I can. So I'm pretty close on that, but you can see my gap right there, all right? It just kind of helps get the adhesive backing off. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to go to the die cutting machine, my Stampin' Cut and Emboss, and I'm just gonna cut out a bunch of butterflies. I'll be back. Okay, I am back, and I want to point out to you that when I got to my very end, I went ahead and I'm using all bits of my foil, okay? Even if it goes off the paper, that's not a problem. So you want to take your pick tool and just kind of get some of those little well, I like to call them chads. I don't know what y'all call them, but the bits out of the detailed dies. And then just kind of pull it apart. Let's go ahead and see if we can get some more out. The beauty is when you use the adhesive sheets, when I pull this backing off, it's going to help me get some of those chads out. So if you don't know what chads are, back in the day when there used to be manual voting, the machines punch your voters, the voting choices. So some of them, I don't know, was it Florida? Some state had a bunch of hanging chads. So that's always, I don't know, that's a generational thing, I guess. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just ignore me. I'm just babbling. So, all right. So I'm going to kind of stop there and we're going to move this over. And now I'm going to, oh, hold on. So I have a layer of foil just from my card front. And all I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the backing off of my butterflies, the adhesive backing, okay? And so see how some of those chads come with it? Isn't that so fun? Remember how I said I like to leave a gap? There was my seam right there. So it made it super easy to pull that off. Okay, so then I'm just going to, and you can do this, I'm using the metallics, the foils, because my class is all about metallics, but you can use this with regular cardstock. Just you try this technique with regular cardstock. It's super fun. There we go again. And then looking for my seam. Just makes it super easy. And then kind of decide how you want the butterflies to fly. I think I'm going to go this way. And then your silicone mat comes in very handy for this. Just put it on top and give it a good rub. I'm focusing more around the border of my layer because the greeting takes up the center. So I'm okay with having it go off the edge. Okay. That came off in one piece. But do you see? See how the gold just comes with it? Love it. All right. So then, like I said, we want to focus on the edges. I think I'm going to go this way. Okay. Then we can just take our snips. Cut it off. Then you can come back in and fill in if you want to, so that we don't have any open spaces. So there you go. Look how that's so pretty. Look at the metallic. And it's pretty simple. Again, try this with cardstock. It doesn't have to be with metallic paper. Add your greeting and you're good to go. Did I stamp inside of that one? I did not. But to get all of the measurements and everything will be in that PDF tutorial that I mentioned that I will send to you if you place a $50 order on my Stampin' Up website. You can find that link below this video. Or I also will have it for sale in my tutorial store. You can find that link as well. So there we go. All right, let's do one more. Is it? No, I have two more. Look how fun that card is. I cannot wait to share this with you. Now, as a Stampin' Up demonstrator, I'm constantly on the hunt for new ideas and new inspiration. Stampin' Up put on the Stampin' Up official Instagram page this idea, and I'm like, oh, I have to try that. We're going to be using the Stampin Blends, and then years ago, we used to sell something called a Versamark marker. We don't sell it anymore, but you can find it. I will put a link below my video about finding a watermark pen because that's how I did this. So I just want to point that out to you. All right, so I'm going to be stamping with my Memento this time. And I have, oh, there it is. I've got, so this is the stamp set that I'm using is Country Flowers. Okay, and I'm just going to be stamping straight on the paper because this is all about the technique. And this to me reminded me of metallic, like a metal bucket. So that's why I included it in this class. There you go. All right. And I will have this step-by-step included in that PDF tutorial for the September Metallics class. Okay. Got a smudge on that side. Let's flip that over. Now I have a smudge on that side, but that's okay. I can trim this down. Okay. I am going to go ahead. I forgot my flower. Let's go ahead and put the flower on because we want to go around the flower. And I think I had it going in this way. Just kind of turn it till you get it the way you want it. By the way, we told my grandson that my nails were from Frozen, the movie. Okay, let's go ahead and close that up. Now the first step is we're going to be taking the barrel tip of the pumpkin pie light color, and I'm just going to start doing some dots where I think it should be rusty. Okay, just tapping. I'm just tapping, tapping, tapping. And then over here. So we just have a bunch of dots. Wherever you think it should be rusty. Okay. Now I'm going to take the darker of the pumpkin pie and I'm going to come right in beside it. More dark. Just adding some darkness to it. I thought this was such an easy technique and I loved that they shared it on their Instagram page. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I have the dark and the light of the smoky slate. I don't need black. I don't know why I have blackout. A blackout. So I'm going to take the dark smoky slate and I'm going to use the brush tip. And I'm just going to come in with little flicks from the side. Little flicks. Leaving the center, okay? Then I'm going to take the bullet end, this end, and I'm going of the light. This is the smoky slate light, and I'm just going to kind of blend that. And then you can, I kind of went back and thought, I think I want some more rust. So I pulled in the pumpkin pie dark and I kind of did some more, you know, just to kind of make it look rusty. And then I added this next part. You could put Wink of Stella on here, I think. I also, did I take this? I did. I took this is the color lifter, and I kind of just colored down the middle just to kind of soften those edges to give us our light source. Okay, now if I wanted the whole thing to be shiny, I could have taken a Versamark ink pad and just did the whole thing. But an ink pad, I couldn't get in there to do that. So I opted to take a Versamark or Watermark pen, and I'm going to grab my clear emboss powder. And I'm going to get it ready. I wish we still sold this. And let me just tell you, it has been years since we've sold it, and it still works, right? I've kept mine because I love to use it. All right, so I'm just going to color just like you would with a marker. So this is sticky, just like a Versamark ink pad. Okay, I'm gonna take my clear emboss powder, pour that over that, and look how it sticks. Oh, so fun, so fun. All right, now let me get my heat gun. And again, you want to just emboss it to where all of that powder has melted, and look how fun. Look how fun. Oh my gosh. So there you have it. Such a fun, easy look to make that can look metallic, okay? Let's see, what else did I have for y'all? I made this card, and all I did was use the copper embossing powders, but I wanted to show you that when you use this, let me get so I've got Seaside Wishes here, and the Seaside Wishes Hybrid Embossing Folder, okay? What I did was, hold on. I also had the Seaside Wishes dies, and that's what I used to cut them out. But the technique itself that I wanted to remind you of is when you're using this folder, whoops, okay. So you see how I have extra pieces. What I did was I took my Versamark, and let me grab the copper emboss powders. Okay, so we have the metallic copper. So what I did was I took two pieces, stop talking. I took 2 pieces of cardstock, okay? And I embossed I added Versamark to both sides. Like really give it a rub. So I have embossed and debossed seashells. I mean, if you're gonna be doing it, let's get the more bang for our buck when we're running through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Let's make as much as we can with one swoop. Okay, so we're gonna take both pieces and we're gonna put them in there like that. And I'm gonna go run it through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, making sure it's like I want it. I'll be back. Always remember to close up your Versamark ink pad because this powder could go everywhere and we don't want to mess. All right, so I've got my two pieces. Take my first piece, pour embossing powder over it. Now the whole thing is embossed. Or yeah, the whole thing has Versamark on it, but you will see, because how one side is debossed and one side is embossed. Now remember, I put the Versamark on that side, so I need to turn this over, okay? Okay, so they kind of look the same right now, but hang on. So now, as you can see, I have enough materials to make two cards. This side is a little bit dirtier looking because of where it inked, but otherwise we're going to be using, let me grab the Seaside Wishes dies. When I go to cut them out, this will all go away, so I'm not worried about any of that stuff. So this way, this is the one that is the, hold on, let me get the folder. It's easier to show you. So this is this part. This was the one that was on the top. So my dies just go right on there, and I can take them to my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and cut them out, okay? Now this one, we debossed. This one we embossed. This one we debossed. So when you go to use the die, it doesn't fit. You have to turn it over. And when you turn it over, it still kind of like catches where the outline of the seashells are. But what I would do is line it all up, and then I would put a piece of like washi tape, you know, just to kind of hold it in place. So there you have it. Another way to do something with metallics and make two cards at once. So let's bring back everything that I shared with you today. So we have our copper embossing, making two cards by embossing our, using both sides of the embossing folder. Then we have our butterfly background that to me almost looks like a faux embossed layer. But the fact that I use metallics makes it even prettier. Then we have our metallic can that we did, and we made it shiny with some Versamark marker. And then we have our black ice that has been embossed. Okay, so we took it up another notch. I sure hope that I have inspired you to get out your metallic supplies and play. Happy stamping, y'all.